He's gone off to a great start. He's built a really good foundation. I'm told he's a tremendous leader. So, in my philosophy, as we get with, the personnel department, and as we go through that, I mean, the defenses get you to the championship. The quarterbacks win championships, and I definitely feel Dak is that quarterback.
So I think this is just awesome leadership. I think it's awesome leadership from the coach of the Cowboys. Nothing else. It's exactly what he's supposed to do. Build up his players.
If he was talking about a player on his roster, I would agree. But Dak Prescott doesn't currently play for the Cowboys, so it seems to be a little tricky here. I would totally agree that when I heard that soundbite, I said, oh, well, I know the lead of the show. The lead of the show is Dak Prescott just agreed to a new deal with the Dallas Cowboys. And then I looked for that story, and that story didn't exist. And I say, you got to be kidding me. Again, they do this. Again, the Cowboys, we've got Jerry Jones say basically, I had an adopted son. His name was Tony. I gave him up for secondary adoption for my new favorite adopted son, Dak. Steven, who says he's going to be our quarterback in perpetuity. And now you've got the new head coach, the one guy who wasn't tied to him, because Jason Garrett was. The one guy who maybe, when you're meeting with Dak's agent, was supposedly is happening today for the first time since September. You could maybe say, well, listen, we love Dak, but Mike hasn't seen him, and, $38 million seems like a lot. No, now Mike's like, no, Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's going to win a Super Bowl.
Great.
So
great leadership.
Yeah, unless you're in the midst of a contract negotiation, in which case you just continue negotiating against yourself in the media for reasons I can't understand.
Could you see the New England Patriots doing this? Could you see the Patriots? Have they said a word about Tom Brady? Have we heard anything?
That's a great point.
Nothing. They scratched the dirt. We're like, there was dirt scratched in New England. Oh, nothing on Tom Brady.
Yep,
that's how you do it.
No, this has always been abnormal to me, being on the end of where Dak has been, being the player and having a team that says all the right things, but then I'm still left without a contract.
Right.
So it's always been very abnormal and strange. However, they want Dak Prescott to be there. Dak Prescott wants to be there. He understands this is the best situation for me. As much as he would love to believe that he can go and take his talents anywhere else, this is the best situation. It's literally been...
Because of the long history of winning in Dallas?
No, because of the way they put the pieces around him. Like, everything has been orchestrated to support what Dak Prescott does.
Right.
And now he's taking the step to where now he can actually take what you put around him and make it even better.
When Mike McCarthy is asked about Dak, how do the other players not named Dak listen to that or interpret that answer? So when he's supporting one player, is he supporting the team in general?
Yeah, okay, I'll give you an example.
Here we go.
You listen to a Ron Rivera talk about the guys on his roster, or a Judge in New York. Like, guys are listening like, man, here we go. Like, to say Saquon is not your starter, let's be realistic. Guys know, okay, we got one of these guys that every single day I go out to the practice field is going to be, I got to prove myself. And that isn't always true or fact. Where Mike McCarthy is coming from a different angle of, look, we know who this guy is. We understand what's before us. I remember being in his office and being in a contract negotiation and him saying, Greg, it's going to work itself out. You got to go through your due diligence. I'm doing the same thing. Mike understands. He gets it. He's one of those coaches that just flat out gets it. And guys, they literally love a coach that just gets it.
And I appreciate that. But it is not binary. It is not either you're Joe Judge saying, I don't even know, I've never met Saquon. How do you spell his name? What position does he play? And Mike McCarthy saying Dak Prescott, who is not on the Dallas Cowboys in 2.5 weeks, free agent Dak Prescott, that he's going to win Super Bowls for us and is definitely a quarterback that can win championships. There has to be a happy medium. And Mike Fisher out of Dallas reported yesterday, not only that the Cowboys are meeting again today, but that they were the sides were close at $34 million per year last September. If $34 million didn't get it done, then Dak, when he believes he's coming off the best year of his career, we're now talking about, what, 38? $39 million. We just asked if Patrick Mahomes was worth that money. The Cowboys have put themselves in a position where this is going one of two ways and neither ends well. It's either Kirk Cousins 2.0 where you go franchise, and he's gone.
Trade.
Or Jared Goff 2.0, where you pay an above average, I don't even know if Goff's above average, but Dak definitely is, an above average quarterback like he's the best quarterback in football. And that's a disaster as well. They keep painting themselves further in this corner where either you have inflated Dak's head to believe I should be the highest paid player in football, and you don't want to make him that, or you do make him that. And either way, it ends poorly for the Cowboys. I don't know why they keep talking. I don't know why they keep saying these things.
Saying nice things, Greg just said.
Well, no, they keep talking because they know he can't go anywhere.
Right, but they don't want to franchise him. I think they should. They would like to get him signed to a long-term deal, right?
Yes, at the number that they would like.
Well, that's the issue. Is you keep talking like he's going to win a Super Bowl, like he is worth upwards of $40 million a year for a player who already wants $40 million a year.
Nick, I think what they're doing is they're really painting a picture for Dak Prescott, letting him know, like, this situation that we have, this works. Yeah. We have an opportunity to win.
That's good.
If you stay here. If you take less, we can keep what we have and continue to win. Mike McCarthy is not about trying to win just one Super Bowl as a Dallas Cowboys head coach.
Super Bowls.
He wants to win multiple Super Bowls. So if you give Dak Prescott the Patrick Mahomes type money, meaning he's the highest paid quarterback, highest paid player in the NFL, then that starts to eliminate guys like Amari Cooper, which you need Dak Prescott. Think about that.
Yeah, he knew that when he turned down $34 million. And so the idea that he's now going to come back to the table and say, hey, Mike McCarthy said such nice things about me, I'll take less money. Where's the win? I'm just curious. When you're in a negotiation, the whole reason, part of the reason people hire agents is because during a negotiation, they say bad things about you. They say, well, Greg, we love him, but he's not as good as him. He doesn't do this as well. And you don't want to hear it. You want your agent to hear it. At this point, I don't know why Dak needs an agent. He's going to walk in that negotiation and they're going to be like, you're so good looking. We like you so much. You're the best quarterback we've had in 30 years. I can't imagine playing without you. And that is okay. You're going to end up paying the 11th best quarterback in football like he's the second best.
Maybe.
That's
or
a recipe for
Jerry
disaster.
Jones is this super intelligent business guy that makes...
Also realize that, you know, listen, no one operates in the sense of taking the extreme team discount, but Pat is also very cognizant of wanting to be in a place like Kansas City and win a lot of Super Bowls. Right. And there are some things to help the team, to make sure that there's always talent around him. So it'll take time. Yeah. It'll get done.
Right.
But he's one of those kids. He's a special kid, and his agent, they want to make sure he's surrounded with a bunch of talent.
Brett Veach there. How do you think, Nick, it'll affect the Chiefs' Super Bowl window if they make Mahomes the highest player in the league?
The highest paid player. I mean, their window stays wide open as long as he's on the roster at any cost. There's no amount of money to
Doesn't
too
matter.
much. Listen, they've got Tyreek Kelsey, both tackles, Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark, all locked up for the next few years. They have their core intact. And people are going to get sticker shock when Patrick Mahomes gets $40 million or more per year. But it is go ahead, Wiles.
No, I was interested in what Greg has to say, because I think that most sports fans, or I wouldn't say for most sports fans, I'll say just me. Like, I kind of check out once we have to start breaking out the calculators to become a sports fan. But Greg, I was interested in, like, when you're on the team, how does it affect the team? How does money and contracts affect the dynamic of a team? Have you ever felt like the dynamic of a team has been affected by contracts specifically, that it hurts you or helps you or makes you feel some kind of way?
Well, as far as relationships, it doesn't hurt or affect relationships. But as far as a guy's mentality moving forward, I'll give you an example for myself. I knew I was coming up on a contract in Green Bay, my second contract, and my third contract. But I also knew Aaron was coming up, Clay was coming up, BJ Raji was coming up. And so when you start thinking that way, you start trying to see, okay, how do I fit in this puzzle? How do they fit in? Who's the most important piece? Who's younger? You start thinking about all those things. So what you're talking about is exactly right. When you have guys locked up already, and then you have your big piece of the puzzle to lock in, everything is good up until those guys are up again, and then that's when you start to concern yourself. But for right now, Nick is 100% correct.
But this is a fake concern, because for two reasons. One is, I'm just curious, if a team calls the Chiefs, What do they have to offer for Mahomes in order for the Chiefs to have a meeting? In order for if the Cowboys call up and say we'll give you Zeke and the entire offensive line, do the Chiefs even call a meeting?